before we know it, it's going to be Thanksgiving, a day where the average American is going to eat about 4,500 calories at the Thanksgiving meal alone. So before you get there, before you end up with a big fat belly, let's talk about how you can avoid all that. Justine Filippo is the author of the book, Lose Your Inches Without Losing Your Mind, 10 Simple Weeks to a Slimmer Waistline and a Healthier You. Justine, great having you here.
Thanks so much for having me.
So you got your bachelor's in business administration. What shifted you into this health area?
Well, actually, it was during college that I put on 45 pounds in 4 sizes. It was my junior year, and that's when I went through what many people do: is they try various diets and supplements, and nothing works in the long run. And I literally drove myself crazy, which is why I put "Without Losing Your Mind" in the title of my book. But eventually I became a certified health coach, which helped me lose the weight and be healthy and learn how the body is always talking to us, and learned healthy habits. And then eventually I got my master's in nutrition as well.
Gotcha. So did you drastically change the way you ate?
Well, it was really baby steps and small steps. And that's something that I try to, I always teach my clients, work with my clients, is that doing a complete 180 doesn't work for most people. And I think that's why a lot of diet plans don't work, is because it's too much. So if you work with baby steps, where it's maybe instead of having a candy bar at 3 o'clock, you're having an apple, or squeezing in 15 or 20 minutes of walking or taking the stairs. So tiny little things, that's what works for me. I've kept it off for 14 years now, and that's what works for all of my clients as well. So
you've maintained just a stable weight for 14 years?
Yes, 14 years.
Well, that is impressive. When you talk about losing your mind, what do you mean by that?
Losing your mind. So I think that a lot of times, and I'm sure your listeners can relate to this too, is if you're on a diet, a lot of them can be very restrictive, or they cut out entire food groups, or there's these lists of foods you can and can't eat, and it's just too much. It's just too much. So oftentimes, and this happens too after New Year's, everyone has their resolutions that sort of end after a week or two.
Right.
Is that you're all on board, you're all gung-ho, and then slowly but surely you realize that it's just not sustainable for your lifestyle, because it's just too much. So that's part of the losing your mind, because you're always thinking, oh, can I eat this? Can't I eat this? Oh, am I... What if I'm going out to dinner? What do I do then? Like, you just feel bad if you eat something.
Always plotting. I'm curious. Yeah. I'm talking to Justine SanFilippo. The book, Lose Your Inches Without Losing Your Mind. Her website, happyhealthypeople.com. Happyhealthypeople.com. What do you think of this whole low-carb movement?
The low-carb, well, it seems like things sort of go in phases. For a while, it was low-fat, and then it's low-carb, and I think things are slowly getting into a more balanced approach, because people have realized that we're all different. So low carb may work for some people, but doesn't work for every single person. And it just really depends on the person figuring out what works best for them.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I personally have tried low carb in my past, and I had no energy. So I do need some carbs in my life to sustain myself. And
now, when we talk about carbs, the whole sugar thing, right? That kind of gets in there. How do you approach the sugar issue?
Sugar. There's a lot of really great documentaries I enjoy watching. One was called Hungry for Change, and it actually talked about how sugar is as addictive as cocaine, if not more. So I think in general, people eat too much sugar, and a lot of times we actually don't know that we are, because it's sort of hidden in processed foods and different chemical names that we don't know what it really means. But I also think people are now being more aware that that's why, Walmart and Super Targets have organic foods now, is that there's this whole movement toward just being healthier in general.
Right. Do you make a point of avoiding sugar or certain kinds of foods at all?
I don't avoid anything 100%. I go by a 90-10 rule. So 90% of the time I do what I'm supposed to do, and 10% of the time I do what I want. So we just had Halloween. So I was ironically at my gym, and they had a little pumpkin with some candy there. So I took like a mini fun size of M&Ms, because I'm like, it's a small portion. It's the season, and it's okay. I'm going to go burn it off anyway. So everything in moderation, and I think that's the key to helping people have sustainable habits through their life, and especially through the holidays.
When people fail, though, to even be moderate, what's the cause of that usually?
Sometimes it's just people don't know, or they don't see how it's even possible. If it's like a busy mom who works full time and doesn't seem to have lots of time for herself, so she's often eating at lunch, like buying her lunches, buying her breakfast. They just don't really know that it's very easy to make one or two small changes to get the results that they're looking for.
Well, if you are a person that you don't have time to make that food, what's your suggestion for that?
Well, there's always a solution, and oftentimes people will find some time, actually. So even as simple as making a breakfast versus buying it, I mean, if you make a piece of whole grain toast, maybe with some little natural organic peanut butter on top and a banana, I mean, that takes literally 2 minutes. Or if they have a family, maybe planning some meals on Sunday, preparing food for the week, and then it's in the fridge, it's in the freezer, and it's ready to go. So
just that toast with the peanut butter, that sounds yummy. Justine SanFilippo, the book Lose Your Inches Without Losing Your Mind. Find her online, happyhealthypeople.com, happyhealthypeople.com. That's a good combination. Justine, great having you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and that is it for us on a Friday. Michael Cohen, producer Mike Peterson. Join us again on Monday, 6 p.m. We'll be right here. Have a good night and a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, and this is my radio home in the capital city. More compelling talk radio, 1320 WILS, Lansing.
Fox News Radio. I'm Ron Flatter. Tonight, we know who President Obama wants to replace Attorney General Eric Holder.